In 2023, a Zimbabwean socialite went through one of the most difficult moments of her life. Her relationship collapsed. There were leaked recordings on Facebook, on TikTok, and even on X. These were private moments. I mean, every single family has them and tries their best to hide them. But suddenly, these became public property. And Zimbabweans pulled a chair to watch. But they didn't just watch, they made memes about it. They even made reaction videos about it. Everywhere you turned, there was some sort of content surrounding her personal life. Gossip pages even posted developments like it was an election, minute by minute. Even the election did not get this amount of attention. And the comment section, they filled up faster than any combi at peak hour. Something that is very difficult to do if you're a content creator. And here's the part that got me. That same week, there were multiple news stories about the economy, about the currency, about prices, about mining, about the health industry that never trended. It was her personal scandal that trended. So then I asked myself a question. Zimbabwe is one of the poorest countries in the world. Zimbabwe also has one of the most expensive data in the entire world. And mind you, we have only a third of Zimbabweans that have reliable access to the internet. And yet, those people that have the privilege to go on the internet are spending majority of their time on personal scandals. Why? It became clear to me that there was more traffic when it came to GUHWA than anything that was productive for our population. You can easily measure this when you see just how many comments you see when there is a celebrity scandal versus the comments you see when something meaningful has been announced on any other informative website or Facebook page or even X page or even TikTok page. The easiest way to trend in this country is to release GUHWA. GUHWA is so important to Zimbabweans that they are willing to ignore everything else to do with the economy, the health sector, the mining industry, the currency, even education. Every single thing comes second to GUHWA in this country. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the GUHWA industry, gossip industry. This is a machine that has suppliers, distributors, advertisers, and it has a lot of profit. And this machine might be one of the most reliable businesses in Zimbabwe currently. My name is Edlin and welcome to the app session. Let's be honest about something before we go any further. Gossip is not something that was invented in this country. It is not something that started recently. It's something that has been with the human species for a very, very long time. Every single society runs on gossip, even in the village. And gossip is not entirely a bad thing. This is how small communities enforced their rules and their morals anciently. Before we had courts and police, gossip played a very important role in our society. It told us who was to be trusted, who had broken the code, who was the proper person to marry, and who exactly was supposed to be avoided. In the village, GUHWA had a function. It was the community's immune system against problematic and toxic people. But then it also had limits because some people are very manipulative. They have the capacity to exploit the grapevine for their own benefit. Now think about this. Zimbabwe has one of the most WhatsApp-dependent internet cultures in the entire world. It's so easy for a rumor that is not true to spread like wildfire in this country. There was even a moment in time where every single Zimbabwean knew every single joke that was being transmitted through WhatsApp. For years, WhatsApp bundles were like the cheapest way to keep in touch with your family. For a lot of Zimbabweans, it was basically the internet. That is all they ever needed. They just had to buy WhatsApp bundles and they'll be okay. But because of this, it was so easy to spread lies, misinformation, and rumors without any fact checking at all. A real life GUHWA exists, but it bears a lot of consequences because if you talk about someone and spread rumors and they hear about it, they'll be able to confront you. But if you do it over the internet, there are no consequences. No one can really know it is you that has actually spread that rumor. Back then, GUHWA lived within a certain neighborhood, but because of the internet and because of WhatsApp, GUHWA began to penetrate different cultures, different classes, different environments, different provinces of this country. So instead of just being hated in one community, because of the internet and because of WhatsApp, you could easily be hated by everyone in a few minutes across the country. And because of this, somewhere in the 2010s, some people saw this and they saw that there was really potential here, potential that was yet to be monetized. People loved people's stories. People did not care whether something was true or not. As long as a story was juicy and as long as someone's life was falling apart, they were willing to invest their mental energy. This is when pages began to appear, especially on Facebook. Yes, some were on YouTube and some were on Instagram and even Twitter, which is now X. They existed, but not as much as Facebook. These pages only had one objective, and that was to farm engagement. These people behind these pages knew very well that the audience would be much more engaged if they posted celebrity drama, if they posted leaked audios, if they posted wedding disasters, if they posted cheating scandals, if they posted private pictures, private videos, sex tapes, all these things, people seemed to invest a lot of their time. And by the year 2021, one of these platforms was now ranked one of the most influential social media platforms in the entire country because of just how much traffic they were able to gather on their page. They were able to garner millions and millions of viewers per single post, something that traditional newspapers and traditional media could only dream about. I want you to really think about it from a business point of view. If you are going to make money posting any media on social media, what is the best bet for you? Posting people's private drama, right? Yes, GUHWA would be the best bet. Imagine if what you want is to make as much money as possible. What niche are you going to choose? You're probably gonna go for GUHWA. Why? Because Zimbabweans have so much interest in people's lives falling apart. When you're making GUHWA, you don't have to put as much effort. You don't have to script. You don't have to think about a lot of things because people actually bring the sensitive information to your inbox. So it is the easiest way to make content, but also the best way to make a profit because you get free traffic. You don't have to do all these other skills for people to watch your content because they'll watch it even if the video has 360p resolution, even if it's poor quality, even if it's blurry, as long as there's juicy details in that video, they are definitely going to watch that video. So you don't have to do your own digging, you don't have to do your own research. The audience itself is the one that provides you with the GUHWA. So the audience is not just the newsroom, but it is also the distribution system. Because when they see a controversial video on your page, they're going to share it to their mothers, to their fathers, their sisters, to their friends. And those are also going to forward it to their own friends and to their own relatives. And that is all going to redirect back to your page. And the more people share this content, the more your page reaches more people and the faster you're growing and the more money you are making. And once you have the traffic, you have the numbers, you have the attention, now you can make people pay to be featured on your page. You can get pastors to pay to be featured on your page because they want publicity. You can also make musicians pay just for their music video premieres to be on your page. And you can also make politicians pay if they're running for office and they want to be known. Some will pay you to put their stories on your page, and some will pay you to take down the stories from your page. So either way, it's a win-win situation and you haven't really done a lot of hard work yourself. I personally do not think that there's a future for any country that prioritizes GUHWA more than anything else. That the most followed pages, most engaging pages on social media are GUHWA pages. For me, this is very disturbing. We can't have a country where majority of the people are busy paying more attention to people's private issues than national issues. It literally bothers me and disturbs me that we are literally raising children that are going to care more about celebrity gossip, yet they don't even know how many ministers are in the cabinet. They won't even be able to name any MPs. They won't even be able to name who the governor of the RBZ is. They won't know anything except who is sleeping with who and who is whose ex. This is the future we're actively painting for our children when we pay more attention to celebrity gossip more than anything else. This is a reflection of what we consider to be important as a people. Because you can't tell me that most of our people are busy paying attention to gossip and then we say we're an intelligent country. It makes no sense. How can an educated country care more about who's sleeping with who instead of caring more about things that actually educate them and make them even more intelligent? So the question becomes, why is Zimbabwe drowning in gossip content? And the answer is very simple: survival mode. Because we live in a country with a collapsed economy, majority of the people when they go online, they're just looking for quick dopamine. They're just looking for hits. And what is the best way to get a hit is to feel like you're better than someone. And how you're going to feel like you're better than someone is if you hear bad news about someone else's private life. So GUHWA has the lowest cost, has the lowest risk, and has the highest engagement of all social media content in this country. So that's why gossip pages are only going to multiply. So that part only explains the supply. But this machine does not just run because of the supply. It runs because millions of Zimbabweans choose every single day to pay attention to the most trivial things on social media. It's us, the people, that are actively feeding this machine, because if we don't pay attention to this content, it is not going to multiply. The reason why it's multiplying is because people pay attention to it. So the question becomes, why then do we always gravitate towards gossip content more than anything else? The simple reason is escapism. We're trying to escape our very difficult lives. Life here in Zim is very heavy. Prices are extremely high. People can't afford to send their kids to school. Rent is very unaffordable. You need to do daily maths just to survive. You need to budget $200 every single month with 4 kids that need to go to school, with rent included and food included. So what is the easiest thing to get a shot of dopamine? That is drama, especially personal drama. Drama is very free and drama is very local. GUHWA is the poor man's Netflix, except that the characters are very real and the season itself never ends. Every single day there's fresh GUHWA that is happening somewhere. So you're always getting a dose of dopamine. I want you to notice which scandals go biggest, because this is not random actually. The stories that explode the most are usually about someone that has fallen. The Mbinga whose money turned out to be dirty. The prophet who has been exposed for being a fraudster or having multiple wives. The couple who seem to have a perfect marriage breaking up suddenly. And then there's a lot of drama involved. Remember the Mbingaization video that I made? Zimbabweans are very obsessed with instant wealth. And they're also very obsessed if you lose that money instantly. They love it. I think that the reason why we celebrate when someone falls and the reason why it explodes everywhere, it is because it brings us satisfaction. Because majority of us are not living the lives that we truly want to live. We think that we deserve better. And when we see someone that is living a life that we think that we're entitled to and they fall, we feel satisfied and we get comfort knowing that ourselves, we could have never been in that situation. So we kind of enjoy it when others are beneath us or are falling to our level, because it justifies that we are really important and it validates our current position. In a country like Zimbabwe, where climbing legitimately any ladder, social ladder, financial ladder, seems impossible, someone else's falling is the closest thing to justice that we're ever going to get. We enjoy that because we feel like, well, tafanana. If I fail to rise, then someone else's falling shows that they really did not deserve to rise in the first place. They deserved to be right down here with us. The problem was them. They did something to rise and now they're back to where we are. So we feel justified to be in the position that we're in. And then it also means that our own stuckness is not our fault. Something else is to blame, not us. So it's a way for us to project our own insecurities on other people. I can hear a lot of people saying, well, they're public figures. We deserve to talk about them. If you do something in public, we're going to talk about it. Yeah, I kind of understand. Okay, it's a business and people are allowed to operate as long as it's within, the bounds of the law. People are allowed to post whatever they want on social media. But I do believe that there are costs to this particular content. The first cost is the fact that when we enjoy gossip, we tend to forget that we're talking about real human beings like us. These are real human beings that we're talking about as entertainment. A scandal is a story to us, but this is their real life we are messing with. So when you leak photos, when you send leaked audios, you are literally ruining someone's life forever. And unlike back then where GUHWA was only limited to a particular neighborhood, now it's global. It's not just Zimbabwean gossip. It can even trend outside of Zimbabwe depending on how juicy the story is. It is easy for us to be very reckless with people's private information, considering that we don't immediately feel how many people we're posting it to when we post on social media. The second cost to me would be that attention is a budget. Every hour that is spent on useless celebrity gossip or useless leaked sex photos or sex tapes or whatever, it is an hour that has been taken to more important matters of the nation. It's so difficult to reach so many people when it comes to awareness, when it comes to STD, when it comes to HIV prevention, when it comes to new diseases, but it's so easy to reach millions of people in a few minutes posting random screenshots. Some investigations that have taken journalists years to gather information on only get just a fraction of the attention that these useless stories get on social media. Stories that would genuinely change people's mindset, would genuinely change people's lives, are not getting enough attention. And majority of the attention is going to sex tapes and leaked screenshots. The GUHWA economy doesn't just distract us from the important story. It incentivizes the silliest story. It changes what we consider to be important and what gets to be made. When people don't pay attention to the stories that actually matter, the people that make stories that actually matter are not going to keep making stories that actually matter because there is no incentive or reward in making that particular content. The last course that I could just think of on the top of my head is the fact that it creates a very skeptical society. Every scandal that is becoming popular is reinforcing the idea that you should trust no one, everyone is dirty, and everyone is doing something wrong. There's nothing wrong with skepticism, but then there's a thin line with cynicism. A population that believes that nothing can be clean stops trying or building clean things. When people believe that there are no clean businessmen, when people believe that there are no clean preachers, when people believe that there are no clean marriages, when people believe that there are no loving relationships, they stop trying and attempting to build them because they believe that everything else is a farce. You can read a society based on what it pays attention to and what it watches. I'm always depressed whenever I watch other countries' content, when I see that they literally have successful channels that talk about science, successful channels that talk about archaeology, successful channels that talk about animals, successful channels that talk about building, successful channels that talk about animal husbandry, successful channels that talk about how to make basic stuff, and people still watch. People don't even watch tech tutorials in this country, a country that even has tech creators that are struggling to get views. I'm talking about tech creators. We are living in a technological world where every single country is putting their effort and their energy and their attention to technology. But in this country, you see tech creators struggling to crack 5,000 views. But a story about a pastor cheating, cracking 100,000 views. Are we serious as a country? Are we really serious as a country? Tikugara munyika yakuti vanhu vanoisa more attention kuona nyaya dzekumachief because oda nyaya dzevanhu kunge zvakafamba sei. Asi vanhu vari kugadzira mavidhio ekudzidzisa vanhu how to use a phone, how to use a camera, how to use this, how to create a website. They are struggling to get views. And you look at that country and you think that country is going to actually progress. Do you think that country is serious about changing its course? Do you think that that population is ready for change, is ready for improvement? No, obviously not. The idea of this video is not to say people should stop watching gossip. The idea is, why is the attention only going to GUHWA? How many tech creators are you watching? How many sport creators are you watching? How many economist channels are you following? How many money creators are you following? How many social commentary, documentary channels are you following? How many non-personal content creators are you watching? Or you only follow creators when they show you their private lives, when they talk about their private stories, when they're talking about ideas that can change how you think, when they're talking about philosophy, when they're talking about history. Do you pay attention or you feel bored? Why is that? Imagine if there's 10,000 people just like you. Imagine if there are 20,000 people just like you. Imagine if there are millions of people just like you who care only about who's sleeping with who and don't care about history, don't care about philosophy, don't care about sociology, don't care about anthropology, don't care about archaeology. What is really happening to that country in the long run? What exactly are we training our children when we are always watching personal stuff and we never care to actually watch ideas? We never care to actually watch stories about the past. We don't actually care about things that actually change the way we think, the way we see the world, and the way that we behave and our attitude towards things that actually matter in this world. I started this channel because I had seen that people are not curious about the important things. And I thought to myself, wow, I hope that one day Zimbabweans are going to be curious about the important things and not just who is sleeping with who. And honestly, I'm very happy that so many people are really starting to make content around things that actually matter, around the economy, around law, around healthcare, around sociology, around archaeology, around tech, We really need more tech creators. If you know any tech creators in Zimbabwe, please tag them in the comment section. I want to subscribe to all of them. My name is Edlin. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay curious about the things that actually matter. See you in the next one. Ciao.